Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Sunday School at First United Methodist Church. We are so glad that all of you are joining us this week. This week at Sunday School, our story comes from the book of Exodus. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are the first 5 books of the Bible. We call those together the Pentateuch. And we believe that the Pentateuch, those first 5 books, remember, say them with me, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, were all written by a man named Moses. We're learning about Moses in our story for today. You can find it in your Spark Story Bible. I'll be reading 2 stories for us today, Baby Moses and Free from Slavery. You can also find this story in the book of Exodus, chapter 5, verse 1 through chapter 6, verse 13. Listen along as we learn about Moses' life. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, was afraid. He was rich and powerful and scared. What could he be scared of? Well, strangely enough, Pharaoh was scared of God's people, the Hebrews. He thought there were too many of them, and he was afraid that they would try to become more powerful than he was. To be sure, the Hebrews had no power. Pharaoh made them his slaves and ordered them to work very hard. He even demanded that all of the Hebrew baby boys should be drowned in the Nile River. Because of this, God's people were terribly afraid too. Everyone in Egypt was afraid. During this fearful time, a baby boy was born to a Hebrew mother. She loved her baby boy and of course wanted to keep him alive. The baby's mother kept him safe by making a floating basket for him. She put her baby in the basket and then hid it in the water and the plants at the edge of the Nile River. The baby's big sister Miriam hid near the shore and watched over the basket. What happened next was really amazing. Pharaoh's daughter came down to the river to take a bath. She saw the basket among the water and the plants and asked her servant to go and get it. When she opened the basket, she was surprised to see a boy crying. This must be one of the Hebrews' children, said Pharaoh's daughter. He's awfully cute. Wouldn't it be fun to keep him? Aha, thought Miriam. I can help her. Miriam bravely stepped out of her hiding place. I could probably find someone to take care of that baby for you until he's a little older, she said. That would be perfect, said Pharaoh's daughter. Miriam was excited to tell her mother the news. The baby's mother took good care of him. When he was old enough, he went to live with Pharaoh's daughter. Miriam and her mother prayed he would be safe. I think I'll name him Moses, said Pharaoh's daughter, because I took him out of the water. Moses lived in Pharaoh's palace until he grew up to become a man. During that time, life became worse and worse for the Hebrews. Eventually, however, Moses helped free God's people so they could leave Egypt. Now there was something besides fear for God's people. There was hope. Guys, baby Moses did grow up, and he witnessed something pretty sad happen. He witnessed one of the Egyptians being really mean to one of the Hebrew people. So he was really mean and he made a bad choice and he killed that Egyptian and then he ran away. But God found him and God spoke to him from a burning bush. And God said, Moses, I need you to go back to Egypt because I'm going to use you to free my people. And that's where we pick up our next story, Free from Slavery. When Moses was alive, the Hebrew people were also called Israelites. Many Israelites were slaves in Egypt. Moses and his brother Aaron were their leaders and went to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. They said, Our God says, let my people go. I don't believe in your God, shouted Pharaoh. Now get back to work. Hearing this, God said to Moses in a thundering voice, Watch what I will do to Pharaoh. He will let my people go. Tell my people, I will free you all and bring you back to the land I promised Abraham. Because they had been slaves for so long, it was hard for the people to believe Moses. So God ordered again, Tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Moses worried that Pharaoh might not listen to him, but Moses did what God said. Guys, our big point for today is this: God is with us when we are sad, and he will help us. God's people, they were sad to be slaves in Egypt. Remember, we've been talking about a family, God's family. We met Abram and Sarai, and they became Abraham and Sarah, and they had kids, and their kids had kids. And there was a famine in the land, and the Hebrew people found themselves in Egypt. And at first, everything was great. But then a new Pharaoh came into power who was afraid. Sometimes when we're afraid, we make bad decisions too. God is always with us, and he will help us when we're sad, just like he helped his people in this story a very long time ago. Our memory verse for today is Exodus chapter 6, verse 11. Go and tell Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go out of his land. Moses is kind of an unlikely hero. He did speak those words to Pharaoh, but here's a fun fact about Moses. He stuttered. He wasn't good at speaking at all, or at least he didn't think that he was. But God chose Moses to lead his people out of slavery, even though Moses was not the most likely candidate. That's because God doesn't look at the outside appearance. God looks at the heart. That's how we should look at people too. We shouldn't judge people by what they look like, but instead by their actions. I hope you guys can remember that this week, and I hope you guys can remember that God has big plans for you too. And he chooses each of you just like he chose Moses. And if you listen to him, he'll tell you what his calling is for you in life. Guys, I hope you have a great week at school, and we'll see you back next week for Sunday school. Bye, friends.
See wherever I go.